I wonder if there will ever be a time when Jaime loves Mondays. What for? Jaime, if I were to win Powerball jackpot, I would give you $1 million and please go buy that ticket like now. I want to rub peanut butter on your nipples. And that takes the cake for the weirdest comment I've ever gotten, man. That's right, it's that time of the week. I am Jaime Rivera. This is Pocket Now, and this is the Pocketnow Daily Recap for last week. On Monday, the topic was VR. We heard HTC CEO Chair Wang claim that VR is more important than mobile right now. And I asked you if you feel that VR is truly the future, because it's still a work in progress. We had 552 comments. VR is the future. It just needs to get cheap, and VR can actually be cheap. You do have Google Cardboard and that whole Gear VR option. Problem is, it's obviously not as good. You get what you pay for. VR is for the very rich. $599 is crazy expensive. Price them like a gaming console and I'm in, and I agree with you. I feel that that would be the sweet spot, the price tag of a gaming console, or just provide this as an accessory of the gaming console, which is what PlayStation is doing. Sometime. VR means virgin reality in 2016. Every first stage innovation or product is never a great buy. And you do have a point, but the thing is, if there aren't any early adopters, then how will this ever take off? We kind of need them. Then on Tuesday, the topic were smartphone speakers. We heard that Apple is working on a patent to improve the quality of iPhone speakers. And I asked you exactly how important is that to you? We had 981 comments. I don't care as long as it sounds okay, simple, and you kinda need quality for that anyways. Apple can always improve the sound of their iPhones, but while watching YouTube or movies, our hands will always cover the speaker on the phone, making it sound muffled and not as clear. Just move your hand, man, but I do get your point. I value phone speaker quality because I need to be able to hear what Jaime says in his videos while I'm taking boom sound for the win. Yeah. True, I agree. I do prefer stereo speakers because of that. On Wednesday, we started hearing rumors of the Apple Watch 2 making its way to a possible announcement in March or somewhere around there. And I asked you, what would you change from the current Apple Watch that you'd like to see on this new variant? We had 774 comments. Round, classic look, thinner design with great battery life. And you know what? I would keep the current thickness if they gave me better battery life. And yes, of course, a round design would be awesome. Make it more affordable, round, and less phone dependent. And you know, the Apple Watch is probably one of the few watches out there that can be less phone dependent if you wanted to, particularly for fitness. So I kind of do agree with you, but again, yeah, round design is definitely on my book. Number 1, price. Number 2, make it round. Number 3, make the software less confusing. Number 4, everything else too. And yes, the software. watchOS is okay, but it is extremely confusing. I would get rid of the whole purpose of that button and use the digital crown to select things like scroll wheels have always been able to. Just avoid the confusion that we currently have with the Apple Watch. Just get it, Apple. We'll never use that thing for making a phone call in its current state. Thursday was rather interesting. For the first time in history, iPhone sales have surpassed PC sales in the world. And I ask you exactly, why do you think it is that people are buying phones more than they are PCs, and particularly iPhones, which aren't at all cheap? We had 950 comments. I have 8-year-old computers still able to run Windows 10 without any problems. And you know, that is a very important point, the fact that you don't really need to change your computer every year. I mean, my Retina display MacBook Pro is about to turn 4, I think. And it is still like new. Chinese are now buying iPhones in record numbers and weren't exactly buying Windows licenses in the first place. We were actually talking about computers, not just licenses. I do get your point, yes. People in China are buying iPhones like crazy, not necessarily computers, but it turns out that it has a lot to do with the fact that your phone is mostly your primary computer in most cases. And I just find it funny. I do get that in emerging countries where, yeah, you can't afford 2 things, but then again, why buy iPhones, which are the most expensive? Nowadays, you can do everything on your phone. Sending emails, calling, web browsing, and gaming can all be done on an iPhone with much more portability. True. Whenever they figure out a way to fix that battery life, it will be even better, but in that case as well, even computers have terrible battery life either. And then finally, Friday, the topic was Samsung. We heard that the company's profitability and also market share in the Galaxy lineup had declined again. And I asked you, what do you think happened? What happened that went wrong with the Galaxy lineup from 2015? Because we're talking about the whole year, by the way. We had 1,487 comments. Thanks a lot, guys. We start with, simple, Samsung has lost its way. Yes, the company has lost its way in the things that we cared about, which were expandability, but then again, they've done so improving the user experience when it comes to usability, so I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think it's just a work in progress. I think that they need more than 1 year for this to take off. So glad I'm watching on my white Galaxy Note 428GB card, and I'm happy for you, man. I never liked how clunky that thing was. What Samsung did wrong? Nothing. People aren't paying over $600 on a phone with minor upgrades anymore. Upgrading every year fad is dead, and you have a tremendous point here, particularly because analysts are already predicting that iPhones will begin to decline next year, and they're also predicting the same for every other smartphone. They predict that we're going to be in a case in 2016 where people will be buying more phones, but these phones will be less expensive. So I think that the next thing that Samsung needs to do with the Galaxy S7 is work on the price tag. Price it a little lower and they'll be more competitive now that people are looking into the premium mid-range instead of building this Galaxy Alpha lineup that just confuses things, in my opinion. That's it for the Pocketnow Daily Recap. Thank you very much for watching. A couple of steps if you want your comments to be featured. Number 1, keep them short. Number 2, stick to the point. Number 3, try to get some thumbs up. It helps us spot them a lot easier. You can also follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera, on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.